La ilaha illallah.
Welcome to a wonderful Carshalton Park full of God's creation, and the topic of this discussion today, we're talking about God's creation and how that leads us on to faith. And I've got a story to tell you. My story is I was in a punk band as a 17-year-old, and we had no real faith in God at that point. Obviously, we grew up in a hedonistic society. So how did a punk become a Muslim? So at university, you're searching. You meet other people of different faiths and different walks of life. I shared a room with a born-again Christian who was trying to tell me that all of the rocks and all of the creation was created in 7 days in the flood. And in that period of 7 days, which I found fanciful. I didn't realise that those 7 days were not 7 physical days. That was explained to me later. But at the time, I didn't believe in God. But I did see that Islam had something to offer. I'm a scientist, so I kind of liked the logical path that it was all put together. There was a good reason why I shouldn't drink and shouldn't do drugs and shouldn't do other stuff. And I could see that the Muslims I met at university and the books that I was reading took me on a different path. There was one creator. There was a steady, logical path to follow, which I really liked. However, did I believe in God? And that was a true test. So someone had said to me, look, you're a scientist. If you're a scientist, you do experiments. So why don't you live the life of a Muslim? Take the baggage on, read the books, follow the life, and then after a period of time, after your empirical study ends, you'll be able to say, I believe in God, I don't believe in God. So there we go. I started on this journey late 89, early 1990. I set on that journey. Within 6 months, hallelujah, I knew that there was God. I had prayed, I'd been touched in my heart. All of those hurdles in the path were just knocked down. And so I then understood the journey, and I understood that this was something for me. And from then on, it's been a marvellous journey, and saved me a fortune in buying drinks at the pub. But we now find ourselves, I'm now working for Humanity First, serving humanity, and Islam has that pillar of serving community and serving mankind, charity, through giving money or giving your time or giving your energy. Now you could argue that there are people without faith that serve Greenpeace or whatever they want to do for their charities, but I do believe that Islam, because it's one of the pillars, doing charity and doing volunteer work, it's part of our framework. We have to, it's an obligation on us to do that work. So that's a marvellous reminder. Every time we say, I'm a Muslim, so therefore I believe in one God, I believe in that creator, and I also have to do charity, whether that's charitable funds or whether that's charitable working. And also creation. Every time I ride my motorbike, I'm always grateful for God. I say, oh Allah, show me these wonderful things. When I'm riding my bike in the middle of nowhere in Romania or Greece, riding hills and riding, terrifying descents, you see deer, you see wonderful things that you won't see on your normal day-to-day ride. And it's there that I go out and I see creation, and I'm really touched. And today in Carshalton Park, over my shoulder, there's 500-year-old oak trees that have been preserved, and are, a remarkable asset to the world, having these creations that we see. I keep bees. I'm a beekeeper. Wonderful experience to see this community. I'm able to guide that community of bees and understand that this is a creation. How on earth did these bees talk to each other? They swarm. We had a swarm recently, went to Bethel Fatoum Mosque that lived right on the top there. Why? How did that work out? I would urge people to help others, and one of those people is older people who have great experience, and we sometimes in this society we kind of don't treat them, in the Western society we don't treat elder people in the best way. So some of those older people have tremendous stories and tremendous life experience that we should benefit from. And there was a good book I was reading the other day that some of this, we read the local news and things like that, all these latest greatest news, but actually most importantly it's the older books. Those older books are stood the test of time. And I think that the same goes for older people. They've had all that life experience, and I think we mustn't underestimate that. So with Humanity First, we've organised coach trips for older people and curry lunches from our friends in Kingston. But if you look in Africa, all of the work we're doing out there in hospitals, and we're building a hospital in Ivory Coast, for example. So we all need volunteers to come forward and help with that. And I know that as one of the pillars of Islam, people will have already kindly donated money to build that hospital, and they will be donating their time as volunteers. So if you're a 17-year-old wondering what to do, how can I make myself more interesting to a future employer, you definitely want to get out and do some charitable work. You're going to be serving your Creator, you're going to be serving mankind, and I think it's that I would urge people. Both my sons went to Gambia to help out in the school and the hospital there, and those experiences, now they're older, it's a tremendous experience that they had. They were on their own, living in Gambia or within our community, but still, you're on your own on a mission. You're taken out of context. So I think that was a great experience, and I'd urge everyone to reach out and dedicate a bit of time for someone else, whether that's in the UK helping our food banks or doing other charitable works. I know our community does loads of work, litter picking and things like that. We've got to make that not just one day, every day. And where we can do that with Humanity First, we're always looking for volunteers, but I think wherever you work, if you can serve mankind in charitable works, that is fabulous, and you're serving your Creator in that way. Live a nice life, be good to people. It's nice to be nice. Throw away all of that. Some of that Western stuff that we have, chasing the latest, greatest iPhone or the latest, greatest flashy car or whatever. Don't be a slave to all that. It's important to have that balance, and I think that through my journey to finding God and seeing and having a relationship with the Creator, it's given me a path now that I will never leave, inshallah.